Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames. In this video, we will be talking about Ye scoring another major victory. But before we get into this video, I want to give a shout out to one of our friends who sent me this article last night. So shout out to Nas5180 from Instagram. Now, this case, I can say that is going to make a lot of people upset because even though Ye won, the matter in which everything was handled, you can tell that it was wrongfully done. And you could tell that the powers that be that said Ye is lying, you could tell that the powers of that be, had their hands in this as well. And I believe that this is not good for Adidas. I believe that after you guys hear this, it's going to make a lot of people even more upset. It's going to make a lot of people not wanting to have absolutely nothing to do with Adidas because it's really upsetting. Now, last year, October, when Adidas cut ties with Ye, what they did privately in November, I believe the date is November 11 to be exact, they filed a court order seizing $75 million in a bank account that belongs to Ye. If you guys remember, Ye told us that he could not use his Apple Pay. Adidas filed to have his account frozen. They secretly did it, and the judge had sealed the case in such a way that, no one could access any details, information, or anything like that. But I have to say shout out and kudos to Ye's new legal team because you can tell that they're actually putting in the work. And this is what, honestly, even makes Kim Kardashian more of a disgusting human being. And I believe that when it comes to Kim and Ye, to be at a really, really great place, Ye is very forgiving, and there aren't many people like him. I know that irrespective of everything, he has no hatred towards her. But the reason why I say this makes Kim Kardashian even more disgusting is the fact that I believe Kim is aware of all of this information. And irrespective of her being aware, she was there on Instagram rubbing salt into the father of her 4 kids' wounds. Now we can say that, you're talking about catching Kim with the NBA player Chris Paul, might have hurt Kim's feelings. But Kim has done, a lot of damage just the same. And when your kids' empire is being taken away from them, that is not something that you be petty nor pathetic about, because we have often heard, of Kim and her shady business deals, how she came by her money. People don't have any respect for her. So in the long run, even when she passes over that empire to her kids, people will say that, the company that you own, is built on blood and people's tears. Your mom was not a decent human being. The kids will always hear that about Kim's empire. As it relates to Ye, even though Kim is trying to deflect to say, Ye's shenanigans are going to have more damage on the kids, social media proved to her that no, it won't, because they would be okay with their father speaking the truth on the internet, even if many other people don't agree, but they would never be okay seeing their mom on camera having sex That's and everyone is able to see that. So not just that, Ye's kids, whenever their father is being spoken of, it will always be from a respective place. And I can tell you that because even now we have even members of the Jewish community is who's letting you know that, and I'm talking about the real Jewish people, not the mafias, right? They're telling you that, Ye, in what he said, he spoke from a loving place. He was speaking of the Jesus, nature of forgiveness. So they understand, where he's coming from. But they also knew that a lot of people are not open and willing to talk about that level of forgiveness. So when it comes to Ye's kids, when their father is being spoken of, more than 80% of the times, it will be about his, art, his intelligence and the legacy that he has, remained behind. You will never hear anyone say, Ye stole something from someone, swindled someone out of a business deal, lied on someone for over a decade. Ye is a man who is highly respected, even by those who hate him. They still respect him. And that is the most important thing at the end of the day. So it makes him a really disgusting human being to know that Adidas not only cut ties with Ye, not only did they attempt to sue him, but they froze his money. And they're claiming that they had rights to that money. That's the money that they paid to Ye. So now the judge is saying that Adidas did not provide enough evidence to prove that they are entitled to that money that they had froze. They had placed a court order to have Ye's bank account froze. Ye's lawyers agreed that, what Adidas did was a foul, which means that they presented an argument that lacked evidence and lacked fair judgment. So the judge is saying, this is not right. Now, according to the report, a week after federal case against Ye was made public, Judge Valerie E. Caproni ruled that Adidas had failed to confirm the order against Yeezy with additional proceedings in court, a key requirement on the state law that allow such asset freezes. Petitioner launches a volley of unpersuasive argument in an attempt to excuse its non-compliance with the plain language of the statute. So Adidas is not providing any evidence to support their argument, saying that the money is theirs. They aren't providing anything. So the judge wrote on Friday, and I quote, without a confirmation hearing, Yeezy was deprived of an early opportunity to have the court consider its substantive challenge to petitioner's argument. So, Ye's legal rights was taken from him. Adidas filed the case. The judge went ahead, issued the order to freeze his account. Ye was not even given his constitutional right to petition the argument. That judge just went ahead because of the powers that be. They know that they could do this to Ye and get away with it. But when Ye when he said what he said, he was canceled because people say that his argument is crazy. What he's saying is not true. But everything that has happened to him since then has proven that Ye was right. He wasn't telling a lie. And this case is a prime example of such. Now, the judge said that the freeze on Yeezy's bank account was not only lifted, but that it had actually been rendered null some 6 months ago when Adidas failed timely to move to confirm the order. So after they sealed the case, rendered his money unavailable to him, Adidas was told to provide the evidence. Why is it that this money in this man's bank account belongs to you? Remember that this is money that Adidas pays to Ye because he's entitled to his royalties. After Adidas cut ties with Ye, they were like, oh, this money is ours. So the judge said, okay, I'm going to freeze the account, without even giving Ye the fair chance to provide an argument or to prove where the money is his and not Adidas. So that judge, I don't know. When I tell you that the legal system is corrupt, it is corrupt. So the court since then gave Adidas 6 months to provide, documents proving that the funds in his account belongs to them. After the 6 months has passed, based on the document that was signed, it means that Adidas froze that they have submitted on his account would become null and void because the 6 months has passed. They haven't provided any additional proof, so automatically the froze was lifted off the account. No, they're saying that a lawyer for Yeezy did not return requests for a comment on Friday, and I don't blame them. I hope that these lawyers keeps moving in the diplomatic way that they're moving. I also believe that they are well aware that a lot of what happened to Ye, that the legal system did was very much illegal. I believe that these lawyers are very much aware that a lot of fallacious attacks took place against him. And as such, we can say that his legal team, they've been doing damn good. I don't know who they are, but, I just wish them all the best and all the protection that they can get. Because ever since they stepped into play, all those idiotic, lawsuits against Ye, all of them, Ye has won every single last one. And I told you guys that, anyone with common sense would see that it was just a fallacious attack against him. As he told us, Ari Emanuel would get people to sue him to the point where he ends up homeless or broke. We saw where his word came to pass. He is never a liar. He has never told a lie. I mean, what he says at times may seem as, weird, outrageous, wild, crazy. But give it time. Give it time. And you'll see that exactly what he says comes to pass or comes to light. I believe that this man, I don't know. I believe Ye needs to write a prayer book. Share with us the prayer that he has been praying. But I believe it's just a greater force that is at work. I believe that all of this is just people getting their karma. A lot of us can learn something new by way of this man. But let's continue. Now, the article further states that Adidas filed a case against Ye on November 11th, just weeks after the German sneaker company publicly terminated its long-standing relationship with the embattled rapper in the wake of his anti-Semitic statements and other erratic behavior. When you have an opinion, when you express yourself, your behavior is erratic because they want you to shut up. Now, the article further states that Adidas did so because it believes that roughly $75 million of its money is currently in Yeezy's bank account. Just imagine, Adidas believed that $75 million of their money is in his bank account, and they cannot prove how their money ended up in his bank account, and he had no access, to Adidas money. Again, let me reiterate that this is money that Adidas paid to Ye. And when Adidas realized that, they fuck around and found out that their company is nothing without Ye, they were like, we're going to sue you. Give us back our money, when it is his money. I believe that Ye needs to stay as far as he can from Adidas. Very far. Now, it is said that it is currently in Yeezy's account. That's what Adidas is saying. At the time, their money is in Yeezy's account, and it wanted to ensure that those funds did not disappear while the two companies litigate their business divorce via private arbitration. Now, this is also proving that Adidas has a lot more money for Ye. And I'm not talking about the Yeezy inventory. I'm talking about everything that Adidas did in that time, the money that they held on to at that point, which was close to $500 million. Because if you guys don't remember, a report came out at the time that Adidas, the money that they were supposed to deposit to his Yeezy account, it was, I think, over $375 million. Adidas was like, we're going to hold on to this. And they also went ahead and privately froze his account as well. So if you really think about it, yeah, Adidas has it's really close to $500 million. It could be over that as well, because there should have been a check immediately after that, $375 million. So let me tell you something. Protect your kids, pray over them, be careful of the people that they go into business with. But we're gonna finish this article. So Judge Caproni quickly granted the company's request for such an attachment order on a so-called ex parte basis. Now, meaning the judge issued the freeze without giving Yeezy a chance to make counter arguments. She did so because she ruled there was a risk that Yeezy will remove or dissipate assets if he was given advance notice of Adidas case. The case and the ruling were filed under seal until last week, when the judge issued an order making the record public. Y'all are gonna burn in hell for that. I can promise you, because we have never seen anyone who have, gone up against this man in the wrong way and have gotten away with it. Now, they're saying that in recent weeks, lawyers for Adidas and Yeezys sparred over whether the asset freeze should remain in place going forward. Attorneys for Adidas said that West had demonstrated a pattern of volatile behavior and was in severe financial stress, imperiling the company's ability to recover the funds it believed it will win independent arbitration battle. Let's see if you'll win this $75 million, Adidas. But lawyers for Yeezy said that Adidas had failed to show that it was ever entitled to such an order in the first place. They strongly argued that Adidas had failed to live up to the requirements for such an order, specifically by not moving to confirm the order within 5 days. In Friday ruling, Judge Caproni agreed the ruling that Adidas' failure to file a motion to confirm nullifies the attachment order. The ruling means that Yeezy bank account will no longer be frozen by the previous order, but it does not mean Yeezy or West are off the hook. The arbitration case filed by Adidas, the original reason it sought to froze the money, remains pending, and Yeezy still could owe some or all of that money when the case is finally decided. Shut the fuck up. You know that he doesn't owe Adidas a dime. Adidas is just acting like an angry ex. The judge also left open the door for Adidas renewing its request in future proceeding, meaning it can again seek to freeze his asset in some capacity, only this time it will likely come through proceeding that include detailed arguments from both sides, which means that this point around they're granting Ye his freedom to his constitutional rights. We know automatically this money doesn't belong to Adidas. Anyone who has a brain know that this money is Ye's money, but because it's a business account, Adidas can argue and say freeze this asset. But going forward, if they're gonna freeze it, they have to provide physical proof that this money belongs to them. They have failed. It has been over 6 months. They have failed to provide any documents proving that the money belongs to them, which means that the money doesn't belong to Adidas. Adidas lied. Adidas has no evidence to prove that this money is theirs, and as such, this case is not going to go anywhere. I believe it's time for Ye's lawyer to come together and file a few countersuits of, humongous amounts in order to, seek compensation for Ye's pain and trauma that he has experienced with people like Adidas. I believe that it's time for Ye to completely pull away from Adidas and keep his ass away from that, unscrupulous company with this unscrupulous behavior. They have proven to be culprits of bad behavior repeatedly. And people like those, you just don't want to be in business with ever. You learn from what happened and you go forward. This is not a case of Ye is just such a bad lucky guy. Not everything is about bad luck. Most of the things that happens to us, we can control them. All we have to do is just learn from the past mistakes that we've made, learn from the mistakes of others around us, and try to make calculated decisions going forward, control the things that we can control, and as such, we can have a good life, so to speak. But that's all I have to share in this video with you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share if you care, and see you all next time. Bye, guys.